All right, so we're diving into Gary Vaynerchuk and crushing it. Looks like someone's ready to tackle personal branding and entrepreneurship.
Yeah, Gary Vee definitely brings the energy. But under all that hustle, there's actually some solid advice in here.
That's what we're here for. We'll break down each chapter. But more importantly, how does this apply to you? Get ready for some aha moments.
Let's jump right in. Chapter 1. Intent. Gary Vee comes out swinging. It's about your why, not just making money, having a deeper purpose.
He's got this great quote: "If your only goal is to become rich, you'll never achieve it." It's not about the cash, it's about the drive. What keeps you going when it gets tough?
Exactly. And that leads right into Chapter 2, self-awareness, knowing your strengths and your weaknesses. He talks about this guy, Brian Wampler, built a killer guitar pedal company, focused on what he was good at, design, customer interaction, outsourced everything else.
Play to your strengths. Recognize what you excel at, what to delegate. You can't do it all alone and expect to crush it.
Definitely not. So you've got your why. You know what you're good at. Time to hustle, Chapter 3, classic Gary Vee.
Here's where that energy comes in. Putting in the work day in and day out, but not mindless grinding.
Right. He's not about burnout. Align your work with your passion, that sweet spot where you're energized, even when it's challenging.
Working smart, not just hard, on things that light you up. Which brings us to Chapter 4, content.
Content is key. Gary Vee's all over this, creating high-quality stuff that resonates, essential in today's world. Sharing expertise, documenting your journey, showing up consistently.
Think of it like this. Your content is your voice online. How you connect, build your brand, grow your business. He says document, don't create. Share your real experiences.
And tell stories, make it engaging, like his early YouTube videos about wine, not polished, but authentic, passionate. That's what connected with people.
Be real. Be yourself. Let your personality shine. That can be scary. Putting yourself out there feels vulnerable. So Chapter 5, patience.
Might seem counterintuitive coming from Mr. Hustle, but Gary Vee knows building a brand, a business, takes time. He even says eat shit for as long as you have to. Not pretty, but you get the point.
Be ready to put in the work. Be patient. Those big rewards will come. Think about planting a seed. You nurture it. Water takes time to grow.
Exactly. That's where people give up, right when they should be pushing harder, like his own journey. Building the family wine business, using early YouTube way before it was cool, slow burn, but patience paid off.
And that ties into Chapter 6. One of my favorite concepts, the Landgrab, identifying new platforms, trends, early on establishing a presence before everyone else jumps in.
Podcasting is a perfect example. People like John Lee Dumas got in early. Huge advantage. Recognizing the potential before it's crowded. Diving in headfirst.
Like the early internet days or the gold rush, seeing where things are headed, having the guts to stake your claim.
Takes boldness, pushing past your comfort zone, embracing the unknown, which sets us up for Chapter 7. Legacy is greater than currency.
The bigger picture. It's not just about the business. It's about building something that lasts. It circles back to that intent from the beginning.
He says if you're just chasing money, your vision is limited. But when you're driven by something bigger, making a difference, leaving your mark, creating something meaningful, that's when you truly crush it.
Connecting your work to a higher purpose, finding that sweet spot where passion, skills, and values align.
Now, all this talk about personal branding, putting yourself out there, some people might be thinking, isn't that just vain? Chapter 8, personal branding versus self-promotion tackles this head on.
It's a huge distinction. So many struggle with this. We're taught that talking about ourselves, promoting our work, is bragging arrogant.
Exactly. Gary Vee reframes it. It's not about ego. It's about sharing your passion genuinely, providing real value. People will connect with that.
He talks about Lauren Everett, the Skinny Confidential. She was hesitant about personal branding, worried about seeming self-centered, but then realized her passion was building community, empowering women. That shifted her perspective.
It's about finding that balance, sharing your story, providing value, being yourself, but the best version of yourself.
Which takes practice. Putting yourself out there is hard, especially if you're introverted or shy. Gary Vee gets this Chapter 9 DNA of a good brand.
This is where he gets tactical, creating content that works. He says, be a practitioner, not just a preacher.
Document, don't create. I love that, sharing real experiences, not some perfect curated image.
And remember, different platforms, different approaches. Instagram's different from LinkedIn Experiment. Adapt, find what resonates.
Lots of ground covered. Finding your why, knowing your strengths, hustling smart content creation, patience, building a legacy. But time for reality check, Chapter 10 perspective.
He pushes you to go for it, but also take care of yourself, mentally, physically. emotionally.
Another great quote, you can't pour from an empty cup. It's not just about work, work, work. It's about finding balance, recharging, not burning out.
Disconnect. Spend time with people you care about, hobbies, anything that helps you de-stress.
Burnout is real. If you don't take care of yourself, it'll catch up to you. He also talks about gratitude, which leads into the next chapter.
Chapter 11, Gratitude. The power of appreciation. Especially when facing challenges. And he's not talking about some vague feeling. He means actively expressing thanks for the people and opportunities in your life.
Even writing thank you notes seems old school, but it's powerful, builds relationships, creates connection. He says, the more you appreciate, the more you'll have to appreciate.
And in business, where relationships are everything, cultivating gratitude is huge. Keeps you grounded. Positive, stronger connections.
Building a business takes time. Back to that in Chapter 12, Patience, Part 2.
Playing the long game, no instant gratification. Planting seeds that might not bloom for years. Trusting the process even when you don't see results. The bamboo analogy, years for the roots to grow, then bam, shoots up like crazy.
It's all about that foundation. Those years of groundwork, okay, patience check.
Yeah.
But we also need to be adaptable. Responsive Chapter 13, Micro Speed, Macro Patience.
Sounds like a contradiction, but it's brilliant. Move fast. Test new ideas. Adapt to trends, but be patient for those long-term results.
That sweet spot, speed and patience, agile and adaptable. But understanding that real success takes time.
Like the stock market, quick trades, maybe some short-term gains, but real wealth, long-term investment.
We're hustling, creating content, building our brand. But boundaries, Chapter 14, the power of no.
Saying no to things that don't align with your goals, values, protecting your time energy, focusing on what matters.
He says the most powerful word in business is no. Saying yes to everything spreads you too thin. Sacrificing quality for quantity.
Strategic with your time energy. Every yes has an opportunity cost. What are you saying no to?
Be mindful of your commitments. Only say yes to things that match your vision goals. Which takes us to Chapter 15, Gary V's framework for content that resonates. The Gary V content model.
Getting specific, creating content that works, pillar content, your core in-depth pieces, and derivative content, shorter repurposed snippets shared across platforms.
It's like a reverse pyramid. Pillar content at the top, derivative branching out. Create high-quality pillar content, repurpose it into smaller pieces. Social media newsletters, your website, and so on.
Maximizing your content, reaching a wider audience. He goes deeper in Chapter 16, the $1.80 Instagram strategy.
Super tactical engaging on Instagram.
Leave your 2 cents thoughtful comment advice on the top 9 posts of the 10 hashtags, most relevant to your business. Provide value, build relationships, get your name out there.
Be active, not just a lurker. Those micro connections can lead to big things later.
Okay, we've covered a lot, but let's pause. Let this sink in. Big ideas, powerful strategies, practical tips.
Next time, we'll dive into the rest of crushing it and unpack what it all means for you.
How to apply these lessons, identify obstacles, set some goals for your journey, get ready for action. Welcome back. We just explored the first half of Crushing It. Gary V lays out some powerful principles for success. Now let's dig into the second half, see how these ideas can be put into action.
Yeah, I'm excited to unpack this further. We left off talking about engaging with your audience on different platforms. Chapter 17 dives deeper into that with platform-specific advice.
This is where Gary V gets really tactical, offering tailored tips for each platform: Facebook, Twitter, YouTube, Instagram, Snapchat, even podcasts and Alexa skills. It's a reminder that the digital landscape is vast, constantly evolving.
He stresses the importance of understanding the unique nuances of each platform, tailoring your content accordingly. What works on one might not work on another. For example, the visual style that's perfect for Instagram might not translate well to a professional platform like LinkedIn.
Exactly. And this is where experimentation comes in. Don't be afraid to try different things, see what resonates with your audience, adapt your strategy as needed.
It's all about being flexible, staying curious, always learning. And speaking of learning, Chapter 18 is all about Gary V's personal journey.
In my story, he gets really candid, sharing his own path from building his family's wine business to becoming a social media superstar. It's a classic underdog story full of hard work, dedication, and ultimately achieving your dreams.
His story is so inspiring because it shows that anyone can crush it no matter where they start. He didn't come from a wealthy background or have any special connections. He built his success through sheer grit, passion, and a relentless work ethic.
And it all started with recognizing an opportunity, the rise of e-commerce, the potential of online platforms to transform the way we buy and sell products. He saw the future before most people did, and he jumped in head first.
It's a great example of the land grab concept we talked about earlier. He saw the potential of YouTube and other online platforms before they became mainstream, and he leveraged them to build his brand and his business.
And that entrepreneurial spirit is contagious. In Chapter 19, The 7 Businesses You Should Start Tomorrow, he throws out a bunch of creative business ideas that he thinks have huge potential.
Now, some of these ideas are pretty out there, but it's all about getting those creative juices flowing, thinking outside the box, considering the possibilities that exist in today's world.
He encourages you to take these ideas and run with them, adapt them to your own unique skills and passions. See where they lead you. It's a reminder that the best business ideas often come from unexpected places.
It's about being open to new possibilities and being willing to take risks. And of course, it all comes back to that hustle, which is the focus of the final chapter. It's all about the hustle.
This is where he brings it all together, emphasizing that success ultimately comes down to hard work, dedication, and a relentless pursuit of your goals. He challenges you to put in the work and stop making excuses.
He wants you to take ownership of your dreams and make them a reality. It's about believing in yourself, pushing past your comfort zone, and never giving up, even when things get tough.
It's a powerful call to action that leaves you feeling energized and ready to tackle anything. But with all this talk about hustling and crushing it, it's important to remember that success isn't just about external achievements.
Right? It's also about internal fulfillment. It's about aligning your work with your values, finding a sense of purpose, and making a positive impact on the world.
So as we transition from summarizing the chapters to extracting those core lessons, let's keep this broader perspective in mind. What are the key takeaways here? What does it really mean to crush it in a way that's both meaningful and sustainable?
That's a great question. And I think the first lesson that really stands out is the importance of intent. Gary Vee emphasizes this right from the beginning. It's not about chasing money or fame for their own sake. It's about finding a deeper purpose that drives you.
He argues that if your why is strong enough, it will fuel you through the inevitable challenges and setbacks that come with building any successful venture.
Yeah.
It will be your anchor in the storms.
So I think a key question for anyone listening is, what is your why? What are those core values that guide your actions? What impact do you want to make on the world? What legacy do you want to leave behind?
Once you have a clear understanding of your why, it's time to turn inward and examine your self-awareness, which is the focus of Chapter 2. Gary Vee argues that knowing your strengths and weaknesses is crucial. What are you naturally good at? What do you enjoy doing? And equally important, what drains your energy? What do you procrastinate on?
This is about recognizing your limitations and being willing to ask for help or delegate tasks that aren't in your zone of genius. Remember the example of Brian Wampler, who built a successful pedal company by focusing on his strengths, design, and customer interaction, and outsourcing the rest.
That's such a powerful example of leveraging your strengths and not letting your weaknesses hold you back. And once you have a good grasp of your strengths and weaknesses, you can start to think about how to best channel your energy and efforts.
And that's where the hustle comes in, which Gary Vee emphasizes throughout the book. But it's not just about working hard for the sake of working hard. It's about aligning your hard work with your passion and your purpose.
He's all about focused effort, strategic action, and a relentless pursuit of your goals. But he also stresses the importance of finding that balance between working hard and taking care of yourself.
He talks about the dangers of burnout and the importance of finding ways to recharge your batteries, whether it's spending time with loved ones, pursuing hobbies, or simply taking a break from the digital world. It's crucial to find activities that nourish your soul and help you stay grounded.
And speaking of nourishment, let's talk about content, which Gary Vee believes is the lifeblood of any successful brand or business. He argues that creating high-quality content that resonates with your audience is non-negotiable.
Think of it this way. Your content is your voice, your story, your connection to the world. It's how you build relationships, share your expertise, and ultimately grow your business. He encourages you to document, don't create, meaning that the best content often comes from sharing your authentic experiences, your behind-the-scenes process, your struggles, and your triumphs.
It's about being real, being relatable, and letting your personality shine through. He even talks about the importance of being vulnerable, of sharing your failures and lessons learned, because that's what makes you human and helps people connect with you on a deeper level.
And remember, the digital landscape is vast and constantly evolving. What works on one platform might not work on another. So it's important to experiment, adapt, and be willing to try new things.
Think of it as an ongoing adventure. The world of digital content is your oyster, and the possibilities are endless.
Now, I know all of this can feel overwhelming, especially if you're just starting out. But remember, building a successful brand or business takes time. Gary Vee emphasizes this repeatedly throughout the book. He talks about the importance of patience and the willingness to eat shit for as long as it takes to achieve your goals.
It's about playing the long game, not expecting overnight success. It's about trusting the process, even when you don't see immediate results. He uses the analogy of planting a seed. You nurture it, you water it, but it takes time to grow into a strong, healthy plant.
And speaking of growth, let's talk about the land grab concept. Gary Vee believes that there are always new opportunities emerging, new platforms and trends that have the potential to disrupt the status quo. It's about being aware of these shifts, having the foresight to see where things are headed, and the courage to jump in early.
He uses the examples of podcasting, social media, and e-commerce, all of which were once considered niche or fringe movements but have since become mainstream. It's about recognizing the potential of a new platform or trend before it becomes crowded and establishing a presence early on.
It's about being a pioneer,
Okay.
an early adopter, and being willing to take risks. But with risk comes the potential for reward. And that's what makes it so exciting. Now, I know some people might be thinking, this all sounds great, but I don't have the time or the resources to be an early adopter of every new trend. And that's okay.
The point isn't to chase every shiny object, but to be aware of the broader landscape and to identify opportunities that align with your passions and your goals. It's about being strategic and selective with your time and energy.
And remember, you don't have to do everything yourself. You can build a team, collaborate with others, and leverage your strengths to create something truly remarkable.
Exactly. Now let's shift gears for a moment and talk about legacy. Gary Vee challenges us to think beyond just building a